From the beginning of their existence, martial arts have always had an important facet to them about teaching the student to be a better person and to exercise self-control and respect and empathy. Do you feel that that's something that isn't focused on enough in jiu-jitsu, though?
I'm a big fan of martial arts in general. I respect every martial art. I respect everything. But some martial arts, they are very straight. You walk in the mat, you bow, yes or no, so you cannot look to the side. You see kids, cannot look to the side. You cannot ask a question. It's very, very it's still very old traditional. I think jiu-jitsu broke the wall. It kind of let's make it more relaxed. That happened to me. I have some guys who walk in my school, but they didn't fit to the environment. They tried, but they didn't fit, so they leave. So I think the environment, it's really can help you big time to kind of manage that,
Welcome back to the BJJ Fanatics podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Ford. My guest today is one of the top super featherweight competitors of all time. He's a 6th-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a 5-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion. He's also a World Pro Cup champion and a Pan Am's champion, and he was a Brazilian national champion. He's a Polaris Super Fight winner, and he's a former professional MMA fighter. He now runs his own academy and one of the most respected Jiu-Jitsu affiliations in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be joined today for the 3rd time on the show by Professor Robson Moura. How are you today, Robson?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm so happy to be here. It's always an honor to spend some time with you guys and talk about and what I love to do, and I hope we'll have some fun.
That's excellent. Well, it's great to have you back. It's always an honor to have you on the show as well. It's been about a year since you were on the show last. So what have you been up to in the last year? Catch us up.
Yeah, man. I'm always busy, and I've been busy running my school, my seminars all over the world, and my kids, can be very busy, and I can't complain. I'm always and I'm on top of that. I'm making myself prepare. I've been training. I've been really take care of myself really well. I have some plans. We can definitely talk about that, but it's other than that, I'm kind of doing the same thing every day with the same passion, the same love,
That's incredible. Yeah, anyone that follows you on Instagram sees that passion's very alive and hasn't calmed down at all since you've stepped away from competition. It's something that you're training all the time. You're posting workouts all the time. You never seem to stop. That's something that I'd like to talk about with you, actually, because I think a lot of students in jiu-jitsu struggle sometimes to remain consistent. You mentioned you have kids. You mentioned that you have the affiliation. There's a lot of people that have families and jobs and things like that. What do you think are the keys to staying consistent in jiu-jitsu? What are some small goals that students can make to train consistently?
Well, I think the first thing is I always talk about that. I tell my wife and my kids I love them so much. So for me to give it them, I need to be prepared, and in every aspect, so if I wanna really give you all my energy, everything I have to my kids, I had to be prepare myself, and the training for me, it's like changing my clothes, it's being on my skin since I was 10 years old, and I have no problem to kind of even though the days you feel man, I don't feel, but I get it done no matter what. That's what I did it for since I was 10. I was just I feel awkward if I don't do it. And I think for people who doesn't have the same the same mindset or whatever, the same as I do, it's just if you do a little bit, every day do a little bit, then little bits keep growing, eventually you catch yourself doing more and more and more, So I think that's the best thing to do,
That's great. Now, there's a lot of people out there that these people we're talking about that have trouble staying consistent, and maybe it's due to like work obligations or family obligations. One of the common complaints that you'll hear these students make is that, man, I just don't feel like I have enough time. I feel like I only have like an hour or two a week. So for someone that has limited time, how can they make the most out of their training?
I think if you do work with jiu-jitsu, right? That's my perspective view. So if you're a jiu-jitsu professional, like, or any athlete professional, whatever sport you decide to do, it's your job. You gotta do it. It's funny you mentioned that because I posted a video this week about that. I was listening to this podcast, and this doctor she said about the timing. She mentioned like, so the time passed too fast, or we passed too fast to the time. So I think we have to ask that question for ourselves, and I was the kind of the guy, I was always say like that, like, hey, man, time is passed too fast. You see, especially when you have little kids, you see the kids are growing, you see like, oh my God, what's happening? But the question is the time is the same for everybody. It's no matter how many things you do during the day, you still have a time to fit something like, for yourself. You got to find, okay, what is about myself? I need the time to build myself so I can give it to my family, So if you don't have the time, then you gotta find the time, because we live just once. When it's done, it's done. It's not like you cannot go back in the time.
That's true. Yeah. And I'll admit, I've been guilty of it myself, and I've seen people make this mistake too, where they tell themselves they don't have time, yet they do have time. There are portions of the day that you're wasting that you could be using to chase these goals if you truly want them. So one of my favorite Stoic philosophers always, he said, it's not that we don't have enough time, it's that we waste so much of it, So now for the people that do find the time, let's say that there is someone who genuinely has just a crazy schedule with family and work and stuff, and they can only train twice a week. What can they do to make the most progress in 2 classes a week as possible? What are some things you would recommend they do?
Yeah, so I was a kind of the guy like all in my 20s, and the mentality I had was like, you gotta train like hours and hours and training crazy. So today when I look back, I don't believe on that anymore. I think like if you do have like a day to train, or 2 times a week to train, or have 1 hour, right? So the hour you're gonna be there, just be there, because a lot of times we are there but we are not there. Like our body's there but the mind is not there. I think like when you have like this hour training on the week, if you dedicate the hour to really embrace that time to you, they really enjoy the moment, they really like talk to the teammate, really like have some good time. So that hour is gonna be like, oh man, I can't wait for the next week, to do another hour. They're gonna help. So that means you're gonna find another time to add another hour, because that's so good, So I have a lot of people sometimes you're so busy, so like, so many things on your mind. We go to the gym, but just the body. And you just think about whatever, and then we don't enjoy the moment. And then you like, the hours pass and say like, I'm glad they're over. I'm just going to, and then you feel like an obligation. You feel like, oh, okay, I'm done. I did my workout. It's like, it's no obligation, guys, to take care of yourself. That should be a priority. The main priority should be invest in yourself, like mentally, physically, spiritually. So if you don't have the tools connected, how you can have a happy life? I don't see how you can have a happy life if you like, say don't have these tools like link, So that's again, like that's what I think. That's how I live my life every single day. Honestly, it's not for now. Now I have a better explanation, but when I was younger, I had the same mentality, but not the same explanation I have today, not the same knowledge, but I was always like, man, I gotta do things right now, because I feel like, training for me, like I said to you, like it's like changing my clothes, it's like it's on my skin. Like I don't see myself without doing something. It can be a stretch, can be a walk, it can be a lift, can be, it's gotta be something. My body has to be moving to give me a better energy, to give me a better like smile, better feeling of life in general, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that you pointed out the various forms of training too. I think a lot of times when people think like, oh, I can only train 2 days a week, they're thinking of rolling. They're thinking of going to class and training and doing a session. But there's other ways you could be training though if you have less time. You could be doing specific strength and conditioning that's aimed towards improving your movements in jiu-jitsu. You could be improving your cardio. You could be watching instructionals. There's lots of things that you can be doing that are training still, but not necessarily rolling. What are your thoughts on that?
no, I agree 100%. You know, like I tell my guys, yes, if you do wake up at like 7 a.m. to go to work, right? Just wake up 6:40, pick up, go stretch for 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we feel like, what that's gonna do for me? Maybe now doesn't do nothing, but a long term is gonna give you like a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the problem. I think we look for the whole picture. We don't look for like the little step, we have to do to take us to the big picture, And, I think the generation is being changed so much, I think like, it's funny because I was talking to one of my students yesterday and, some young guy, 22, 23 years old, and he was saying, today, you see like the guys, they use social media so well. And they told him, he's like, dude, from my time, you win a competition, you wait like a month for they release the magazine, and then you can run into the place, buy a magazine, you hope your name was there. So the magazine, you knock in the door to the company, say, like, it's my name in the magazine, can you sponsor me? That's how it was. So there was little steps, we have to do every single day to accomplishment something. Today, it's not the same anymore. I think that change, I'm not complaining at all. I think the change is amazing. Love that change. I do use the change, right? But like the work behind it's gotta be the same. It's gotta be the same. You gotta be chased. You gotta be doing. You gotta really, embrace that. And then when me, man, when it's about like really like do things for myself and do things for my family, I'm on like 100%, and I think that's the most important thing, like, we have, and like, just like, but a lot of people, they put work here and the family here, and they put themselves here. So, but if they are not here, the family struggling, the work is, they don't care about you. They just like, put somebody else, replace somebody else,
Yeah. So it's very well said. Yeah, it's very true. Like obviously taking care of yourself, you can't, like you said, you can't perform and do your very best at work or with your family if you don't have your health in order. I love what you said there too, how you encourage students who wake up at 7 a.m. to go to work to just wake up at like 6:40 or 6:45 and do some stretching or do some movement drills. Because like you said, it doesn't seem like much, but if they do that 365 days in a year, that's like 90 hours worth of stretching that you've done. And for sure, that's going to have a huge impact on your dexterity and your cardio and your movements. So really, really good advice. It's funny how those.
Yeah. If you tell a guy, say, hey, save you one penny every single day. He's going to say like, what I want to win on penny. But save one penny every single day, and over the year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and let me know how many pennies you have. Yeah. It's kind of that, and it's just like, it's a combination of things, man. Like, I always tell my wife, and my wife's already know that, because, we've been together for such a long time, but she already know, like, and I tell her all the time, look, I love you and the kids so much, but I have to take care of myself first to give to you guys everything I have. So when I build myself here, everything I have here, it's for you guys. If I'm here, all I'm doing for you guys is bad things. Bad energy, bad vibe, stress, and everything. I have to clean it up, get myself here, then throw you guys only the positive thing, only the love, and the amazing thing. So I think that's what we have to do as a man, as a provider, I'm saying.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Now, obviously, Hobson, there's days where people, it's not so much the time that's available. Sometimes it's the motivation that's a problem. You in your life, obviously, I would say you've accomplished more than just discipline. You've accomplished just a lifestyle. This is just what you do. It's kind of like, birds fly and fish swim, and Robson Moura does jujitsu. So if someone's not quite at that place yet, where they're still having to really rely on building discipline and being motivated to get started, what do you encourage people to do who are lacking the motivation? They have the time, but they just lack the motivation. What any words of wisdom or anything you've experienced that's helped you?
Yeah, it's good to talk about it because I talk to my son about that a lot. I say to my son, like, I have like an old son, he's 27, he's a black belt as well. And I tell him, like, hey, it's got a two types of motivation, a guy who needs someone to kind of push him, say, let's go, let's do it, you can do it. And there are a lot of guys who can self-motivation. I'm the kind of the guy, like, if I put on my mind, like, a night before, I say to myself, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and I'm going to work out, right? I can have the worst sleep ever. I wake up, then I'm going to work out. And then my wife say, well, you didn't sleep well. Why are you going to do it very well? Because I told myself I'm going to do it. I have to commit to myself. If I tell myself I'm going to do something, I have to do because I'm doing it for myself. It's like you eating, like, thinking about. So you're going to eat something bad, you put that inside your body. Who's going to affect? It's you who's going to get affected. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to a vacation, you book a shitty hotel with your family, who's going to have an effect? You're going to have an effect. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of stuff we have to be thinking about. So like, wait a minute, man. Like, sometimes we save for the things that doesn't make no sense, and the thing we should be like really helping and dedicate ourselves, we kind of forget about, And I think like for the guys who doesn't have the same kind of motivation, I think you have like a mentor is the best thing, have someone really like, hey man, let's do it, man. Come on, you can do one more. Come on, let's do it, And so, I have so many mentors in my life, different way, different kind of things, And I do think that's the best thing, to be honest, But, when they post video, things like that, I get a lot of feedback from people worldwide saying, man, thank you so much, man. You helped me big time. I was not feeling to do nothing. I saw you doing, man, I'm doing my stuff. That's what I'm helping myself and I help others as well, And but having maybe have like a mentor will definitely help you. It doesn't have to be a mentor who you have to pay for. It can be a mentor, like a lot of guys do such an amazing job online. You pick someone you like, somebody you identify, and they're just like, watch a couple of things, like, really like see how he, he can help you, you know what I'm saying? And but honestly, like the best motivation you can have, it's the life. If you're thinking about like, man, I love the life so much, I want to be here. I'm 46 years old, right? And I want to be here for another at least 40 years. So that means I live already half of my life. And another half, I want to live it good. I want to be able to walk to my grandkids, to my kids, and play basketball outside with my kids, And to do that, I have to save the one penny every day now, so then I can collect it like that in the future, And I'm all cool about. I'm going to do. If I have to do, I will do,
You mentioned the importance of having like a mentor and having someone that can help keep you motivated and help pull you along on the days that you're feeling like you're slacking a little. Accountability partners are another great option for that. Like you might find someone else in the academy who, say you're a white belt and there's another guy who you roll with a lot and you train with a lot and you guys have similar goals. Man, pair up with that person. Just be like, yo, let's stay on each other to make sure that we're showing up on time, that we're showing up on Wednesday. If you see I'm not showing up or I'm slacking off, let me know and encourage me. And if I see the same from you, I'll do the same. And there's a lot of people that get through their entire journey of jiu-jitsu with a partner that they go through and they climb the ranks together. So that's another option too, right?
I agree that that's a great idea. Great idea. I always talk to a parents on the soccer game. My son, he plays soccer as well Tuesday night. And he was telling me like he was having a hard time to find something his son likes. Because everything his son goes, his son doesn't like, I don't like this, I don't like that, blah, blah, whatever. And they told him like, look, I'm right now, I was exposed to jiu-jitsu my whole life. That's what my parents exposed me to. No regret about it at all. I love. But with my kids, I want to expose them to a different kind of sport so they can find something they really like. I don't, like, look, I love jiu-jitsu. I always going to sell jiu-jitsu. I'm going to tell you jiu-jitsu is the best thing you're going to do in your life. And I do believe on that 100%. But sometimes some people say, like, look, it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, if I cycling, I feel better. Whatever you decide to do in your life, you know what I'm saying? You gotta find something that inspire you, something drive you every single day when you wake up, And for sure, we talk about jiu-jitsu, that's what you do, that's what you love, But like, and I always said to these parents, like, look, let him try so many things. Let him try soccer, let him try basketball, let's try swim, let's try jiu-jitsu, let's try whatever, just let him find something he enjoy to do. When he finds something to enjoy to do, eventually, as he's grow up, he's gonna have another. The thing is, sink the seed in these people's mind. The body has to be moved. The body has to do some kind of exercise. Exercise is like you eating. You eat healthy, you do exercise. And I was listening to this guy, and he would say like that. He said like that. Look, if I tell you we have a pill, you can go to the pharmacy and buy this pill to like kill all the disease, keep you happy, kill the stress, blah, 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 everything. You go there and buy, everybody say, oh yeah, I'll buy right now. And the guy said, if I tell you we have that. And they go, oh really? Yeah, we have that. That's called eating healthy and exercise. That's it. But do you want to do anybody? Oh, exercise, eating healthy. Oh, it's a price to pay. And if you're willing to pay the price, you definitely gonna collect big things in the future. Honestly, right? It's good you're talking about that, man, because I'm in the point of my life. I love jiu-jitsu. I love teaching jiu-jitsu. I love to see the guys improve, but I feel more happy and I feel like more proud when I motivate the guy to change his lifestyle to jiu-jitsu or to anything else. That's what's now bringing me more joy. You know what I'm saying? It's bringing me way more joy than make a guy to go to the world championship and become a world champ. And I have so much like, I make myself so happy, when I get, I say that somebody send a message to me, say, man, you helped me so much. Thank you so much. That's what I feel like, man, like, I make something positive, So, that's what I love to do. I feel much happy now to really like help people somehow. Some people like you like talking about there, like now, like, motivation. Some people, they need that extra motivation. I'm the kind of the guy, like if I tell you, if you tell me, Robson, please help me out, I will be on your butt, bro. I will drive you like up to the hill, but I'm not drive you. I'm gonna go with you. I'm not the kind of guy, right? You gotta go there. I know I'm going with you. No, let's go. I'm gonna sweat with you. I'm gonna fight with you. That's because I love that. You know what I'm saying? That's making me happy. That's like my students. Like I had guys come to my school. Like I had one of my head instructor there who teaches at my school full time. And then he said, dude, how you do that? Sometimes I see on the mat, quite a few guys training, nobody to give you like a good training, and you're there training. Because it's not there for them, there for myself, They train you, I'm training myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's kind of how I live my life, man. I really enjoy, and it's just like, since I found that passion, that love, I things make way more sense for me now, way more sense.
That's incredible, man. I can feel the passion that you have for teaching, man. It's so cool to see this and hear this. Obviously when people come into your school, they're looking to learn jiu-jitsu, whether it's for self-defense or to get in shape or whatever. But we all know, jiu-jitsu has this way of transforming our lives for the better. Like you were saying a second ago. Mm-hmm. What do you think have been some of the most significant impacts and connections you've made with students? Do you have any favorite success stories of students who you've made an impact on?
Oh, I do, man. I do. I do have one. I did share that on my book. That happened with me when only in my 20s. I didn't even, until that point, I didn't know the power of the jiu-jitsu. I didn't know. On that moment, I thought, yeah, jiu-jitsu is sport, martial arts, we fight, go competition, we battle. So I remember I had this guy. I was living Ribeirão Preto, São Paulo. So I was teaching noon class, and young kid, only my 20s, 22, 23 maybe, 23, 23, 24. So this guy walking the school, sitting there on the bench and watch the class. He was dressed all white. You could see he was a doctor because he was dressed as a doctor. He watched the whole train. Didn't say one single word. Fine. So next day he did the same thing. He did that for a whole week. Man. Every day he was walking to school, sitting and watching the train. I thought that was strange. I said, what's going on with this guy? Then I walked to the girls and they asked, hey, what's going on with this guy? And they told me, well, he signed up. He's paid for his membership. It's fine. I said, well, that's weird, So anyway, the guy finally got the gi and started training. Very quiet guy, just good morning, good night, how are you? Very basic word, right? Overweight, not smile, not like that. His name was Altamiro, Dr. Altamiro. So anyway, this guy started losing weight, got skinny, got a good shape, started getting involved more in the students, got his blue belt, went to a competition, blah, blah, blah. And one day he walked in the school and told me hey, Hobbs, can you go have a coffee? I said, yeah, that sounds good. So sitting here on the coffee, there, some place, and he told me, hey, I really want to thank you because you saved my life. I was, what I mean, you saved my life? And he told me, no, you really saved my life. I said, what that mean? He said, dude, remember the day I was trained at the beginning? I said, yeah, I remember. Every single day when I was walk outside the school, I was going home, and I was pull the gun, and they put it inside my mouth, but they couldn't pull the trigger. I was, what? And he said, and he told me, dude, I got to help up. He said, every single day. I was, what I mean? He said, he told me the moment his wife broke up with him, he took everything he had. I think she was cheating or something like that, if I remember correctly. So took everything he had. The only thing she left was his job. And then he started hating his job and he started hating their life in general. And then he said, look, what saved my life was not only the jiu-jitsu, because on the walk here, the environment, the way you guys do the things over here, it's really saved my life. And now I feel great. I feel happy. I got a girlfriend. I'm so excited about life again. And that moment I was, wow, wait a minute. I'm not only a jiu-jitsu instructor, because if I present a bad technique is one thing, but I present myself badly, that can be affect everybody else as well, So there was a change moment in my life right there. And the moment I realized, hey, Hobbs, so you have the power to change people's life through the jiu-jitsu and through who you are, And then I was like, wow. That was the moment that I really I realized, said, you know what? I have a gift on my hand, and then let me use that gift to not help myself, but to help others as well, And that was I have other ones, but that one was the ones really click on me,
Wow, man, what a powerful story. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Sure. What do you think of the biggest obstacle that jiu-jitsu has helped you overcome in your life personally? Is there any hard times or difficulty or obstacles in your life that you feel jiu-jitsu's responsible for helping you get through?
Oh, man, so many, but one, again, I shared the one too on my book. This one is that's when So I have a twins, right? A boy and a girl. So they born premature. They born with 6 months. They're tiny, real tiny. So, but before they born, my wife, she was in the hospital for 3 weeks because she had plaque clumps. So she was in the hospital for weeks. She had the computer connected with her 24 hours. They'll track the babes 24 hours a day, and every single day, I remember I was sleeping there with her in the hospital. I couldn't sleep. I was just like, and when you're in a situation like that, what do? You Google. I was Google what can happen if the kid's born premature. And everything we see there, it's horrible. It's horrible, right? But at some points, I was kind of like, without I was kind of prepare myself. I was kind of, okay, let me prepare myself for what could be happening, right? Because I had no control of the situation. The only control I had is making myself ready. Like you do on jiu-jitsu, you have to prepare yourself to go to a competition. So I didn't want to be, if there could be an option, like, let me prepare myself, because if that be the option, if that God sent that to me, I want to be prepared to hold that. Say, okay, let's go there together. That's what I had. That's what I'm going to do. And so, and I remember one night, and a 5 doctor walk in the room at 2, 3 in the morning, because their computer start beeping crazy, and they start flipping my wife to one side to another side, blah, blah, blah. Finally, that around like 10 minutes later, whatever, they control the situation, everything's calmed down. Everybody left the room. The one doctor, she stayed. And she stayed, and as soon as she left, I followed her outside the room, and I asked her, hey, what's going on? Why you guys don't do the C-section already and take the baby and we finish that, then we can have a normal life. And the doctor looked inside my eyes and said one little thing. She said, baby girl, she's not going to survive. We'll try to give the life to the baby boy. And they walk away. I was by myself without nobody to look at me and say, hey, bro, don't worry about things going to be fine. It was just me. So the first picture came on my mind was me, tie my belt, shake the hand, and move to the next round. So that moment, I said, no what, man, it's just one more fight, bro. You got to win. You got to move forward. I walked back to their room, and my wife asking me what she said. I told her, baby's looking great. You're good to go. Let's rock. Today, man, my babies are healthy. They're amazing. They'll grow. Because any moment in the evening, don't was like, oh, they smashing. People smashing me. People like beating the crap off me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to survive on that, and they're going to turn the game and going to win the match. So that's a picture I had on my mind, and that the moment jiu-jitsu gave me the power I didn't even know I had. I didn't even know I was strong enough to hold that moment that she look at me and tell me, your baby girl, she's not going to survive. I was like, no, you're wrong. My baby girl is going to be here. I don't know how she's going to be, but she's going to be here. No matter how she's going to be, I'm going to be here to hold her. And my baby's amazing, So, man, I get so emotional when I talk about that, because that's like, that stories of my life, and I'd be so proud to do that, because I tell my kids, like, hey, you born to be a champion. You're here to be a champion. I'm not saying be a champion on the mat, because you are you're here to make history. And my kids, they know that. I don't lie for them. I show picture for them with their little tiny one, the NICU. I show, that's what you came through. You fight to survive. Everything going to be faced outside is going to be a piece of cake for you, because you already did like the thing like you had no clue. I never fought for my life. You did fight for your life. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what that means. I always fight with you, but I couldn't do nothing. The only thing I could do is believe 100% and just like making myself strong to like be here to hold you. So that's like, the thing happened to me,
Robson, I'm covered in goosebumps, man. Amazing. What a story.
Yeah.
How old are your kids now?
6 years old, man. 6 years old. Boy and a girl. It's amazing. They were like healthy. My baby girl, she's gonna be an athlete. She's an athlete, man. She's like, wow. She's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
you know.
incredible. Incredible, man. Well, Hobson, from the beginning of their existence, martial arts have always had an important facet to them about teaching, self-development and to teach the student to be a better person and to exercise self-control and respect and empathy. And these are all things people can lean on in hard times like you're talking about. Do you feel that that's something that isn't focused on enough in jiu-jitsu, though? Do you think that the general idea of teaching morals is something that could be focused on more in jiu-jitsu?
I do think, but on the other hand, I think what makes jiu-jitsu different than every other martial arts is like that moment, I think like a lot of I'm a big fan of martial arts in general. I respect every martial art. I respect everything. But some martial arts, they are very straight. You walk in the mat, you bow, yes, so no, so you cannot look to the side. You see kids, cannot look to the side. You cannot like ask a question. Is very, very it's still very old, traditional. I think jiu-jitsu broke with that wall. It kind of like, let's make it more relaxed so people can really go there, make friends, laughing, joke each other, giving nickname for each other. I think that was the difference between jiu-jitsu and everybody else, and on top of that, you still learn the morals, I'm kind of like old school when they talk about that, the respect and everything, because that's how they taught me, and that's how I pass. But the same hands, I like to be more flexible. I like to I love to see the student laugh, and I love to see the trainers and the students just hanging there, just talk. I love to see the students just play with each other. I love that because you make the environment very, very a happy environment. That's what I like. That's what I believe as well. And but I think like the moral of the sport, the discipline, and the focus and everything is gotta stay on. We have to make sure we don't lose that. We don't lose our value, and the values has to be there. That's what's gonna keep the jiu-jitsu keep it growing more and more. I is a total organized, professional, a number of practitioners, a number of people who wanna be involved in jiu-jitsu worldwide, and I always talk to my friends who run the schools, and I tell them, look, if you do a bad job at your school, and the next generation gonna come after us, they're going to be affected, because when they open the school, that they're going to be collected there. So we got to make sure we do a good job. The same thing the ones they did for us back in the year. The generation before me, they did such an amazing job represent the jiu-jitsu. So remember about the generation before me, right? When they were on Vale Tudo. So the guys, they were going for represent the art. They're going to the fight. They go like head bump each other, like elbow, no glove. They represent the sport. They were building the road so I could like walk on the road more safely than they did it, right? So they have a lot of respect for the guys. I call them the dinosaur of the sport, So there is my job to keep the legacy, to keep doing a good job. The tools I have today, they didn't have back then. I have more tools now. It's my job to keep them moving to the next generation, keep them rolling, so they can keep the sport forever, So I think that's what I do every single day when I step in the mat, and then that's what the conversation I have with my friends who run the school as well, and they do agree, they do believe the same thing, and I think that's different,
That's excellent. I really like that. Yeah, because you hear people say a lot that someone that gets a black belt in jiu-jitsu, it doesn't necessarily mean they're a good person. You can be a bad person and get a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and that's very true. So I often think like, what can be done to fix that? What can be done to help that? And I look at other martial arts and I say, well, one thing I see a lot is a lot of martial arts often emphasize the important attributes and the important characteristics that you learn, character building things that you learn in martial arts. And that's something that in jiu-jitsu, you see it in some places that it's just focused on just learning jiu-jitsu. So I like the balance that you discuss. You seem to really have that, you have that in mind when you're teaching people. I think that's really great.
Yeah, and the balance is amazing. Thinking about like someone to be reach the black belts, right? And like average guy, in between 8 to 10 years, right? You got some guys who got a black belt 2 years, 3 years, yeah, but that's, it's few people, right? So average people is gonna get the black belt between 8 to 10 years, average. So you have the time to really know that guy. If that guy trained you for that long, you really know that guy, like, So if you know you get to know him, you get to know his family, you get to know his kids, then you build a relationship, and like, regardless if he's going to be a big competitor, champ, or whatever, but the timing, the love for the sport, everything he's embraced, he really deserves to be a black belt. But I always tell my guys about that. It's got two kind of black belts. A black belt and a black belt. You cannot even compare. It's a funny thing. I remember, like, really good friend of mine. He got promoted to a black belt, And I went to my hometown, and he's like, we laugh and make a joke with him. He said to me, like, well, now I'm a black belt like you. I said, no. You are black belt, but not a black belt like me. But you are a black belt. For you to be a black belt like me, you have a long road. And he knows that. I always like making that because for so many reasons, I dedicated my whole life on that. So it was my number one thing I dedicated myself. He was more like for fun, have fun, training, blah, blah, blah. It was not like his thing, but he's good. That he doesn't mean, he's a black belt. I'm not saying he's not a black belt, but like, he's a black belt, but it's a black belt. It's got two kind of, So it's like Hicks or Grace. So I cannot say like, hey Hicks, I'm a black belt like you. No. Hicks, it's here. We are here. I'm saying that we're talking about like different levels, So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I like that you mentioned that the time span that you have to get to know someone's character, and I think it's great that you're mindful and that you pay attention to the people you're teaching. Because at the end of the day, as much as we like to think of jiu-jitsu as this fun activity that we do, it's a deadly combat system. I mean, you can kill people with jiu-jitsu 100%. And at least if you don't kill them, you could seriously hurt people. So I've always said that if I opened a school someday, if I ever had a school, I think that part of the initial package, like the part of the sign up fee that you'd pay for, would be for a background check. Like I would like to see, but this is just me personally. If I had a school, I would like to know, okay, do you have a history of domestic abuse? Have you ever done anything bad to a kid? Have you hit women? I want to know who you are. And then if any of those things pop up, it's like, dude, you're not training here, So I know that's not something that everyone would do, but I think it's at the very least great that, like you said, you monitor the character and the family and the connections, and you seem to really be very in tune with who you're teaching and passing all this knowledge to, because it's knowledge. It's dangerous knowledge. I mean, it makes you dangerous if you're good at jiu-jitsu.
That's why I think the environment. I believe in the environment. So, so some guys, and so that happened to me. I have some guys who walk to my school, but they didn't fit on the environment. They tried, but they didn't fit. They are not there. So they leave. You can see that. I see that happen quite a few times. But some guys, you see they walk there, right away they they lock down the environment. They feel like they lock down the team and everything. So I think the environment, it's really like can help you big time to kind of like manage that, and because that happened to me quite a few times, and the other thing, to be honest, like I do believe on the change of the person. I do believe jiu-jitsu can be a big tool to help you to change. It can be sometimes like a guy who makes so many mistakes on his life, because maybe he was lost, whatever, and he's fighting jiu-jitsu and he connected, and he's like, wow. And then he's get a second chance, and then from there he become another guy, another human being. And but if the environment is bad, this guy just gonna get worse. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I do believe 100% the environment has to be right here, and and honestly, like, I always tell my guys, like, I want you feel safe for your wife walking my school to bring your kids, and without you to be here. I want you feel safe to drop your kids here to train, and then you gotta go to a meeting, and then after a meeting, coming to picking you up. So that's the environment's about, So
I think that environment that you're describing, it exists in most schools. I think most schools do a really good job of setting up a really good environment and having that there. And that truly is in general a pretty good filtration system. I think that people who are bad people don't tend to last long in a positive environment. So that's great. Yeah, I really do like that. There, Robson, speaking of people that come in through the doors, I first interviewed you back in like 2016, and I think we talked about it in our first interview. But did that big guy that came in with all the tattoos to challenge you on YouTube, did he sign up? Is he still a student, or did he never sign up?
No, that's one guy. I really tried to help him out, man. I really tried. I told him. I remember I told him, like, look, if I catch you're gonna sign it here and become my student, and he didn't sign up. Like, I really wish he could sign up, because I know I could help that guy, to really understand, like, the point. But when he came to my school, it was crazy, like, it's funny because it was a Tuesday night, around like Tuesday around 6 p.m. and Tuesday is my day off. I don't go to the school usually on Tuesdays, but I was at home so bored. I was like, I'm doing nothing. I was bored. I don't go to the school, man. And I walk in the school. I remember as soon as I walk in the school, my wife was sitting in the front desk, and she told me, like, "Oh, I'm glad you're here. You gotta kick this guy out here." And they look, and the guy was talking to my head instructor, Rodrigo, and Rodrigo's a big kid, like a Brazilian off my black belt. He's a big kid, and I said, Rodrigo's gonna figure it out there. I passed through there to the lobby, and I hear the guy say like I give you $20 for 5 minutes or something like it was $20 for 5 minutes fight. I heard that, and I walked to my office. When I sit on my chair, I was, wait a minute, sounds not too cool. And I walked back, and the guy had no clue who I was. He said, "But what's going on?" And I said, "Well, I just," and the thing, he didn't believe jiu-jitsu couldn't work against him because he was too big, right? And he was not being disrespectful with me and with Rodrigo and the school in general. He was just not believing. He said, like, I don't believe you just can work against me. I'm too big. And he was flexing me like that. I'm too big. And he was like that. It was funny. And then I said, well, and I thought, okay. And they said, I'll give you 20 minutes. I'll give $20 for. And then I didn't take the $20. There's a lot of regret that I had. I should take the $20. But that happened to me, And then he tried to sue me afterwards, and then I said, man, that happening, And again, I really wish he could have signed up and stayed there. That would be a big change for his life. But I lost that guy, I won the fight, but I lost the student. That's the thing. Like, I would prefer to win the fight and win the student.
There might be someone that, yes, maybe they are a bit of a knucklehead, but jiu-jitsu can change them. Jiu-jitsu can help them. And I think that's a really important thing to point out. Because, like, when I was talking earlier about how if I had a school, I would have a background check thing done. Unless you have displayed like seriously predatory behavior, I can forgive someone for past mistakes. Like if they did something wrong in their past, because I'm certainly I had kind of a colorful youth. I'll call it a colorful youth. And I'm a completely different. I'm a radically different person today than I was the first day I walked into a jiu-jitsu school. So I know firsthand how much that can help somebody. So I think it's great that you're mindful that, hey, even though someone might be a little sketchy or have a little bit of a dark past, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't be brought over to being a better person and a better citizen. So it's awesome that you focus on that you're mindful of that. Robson, let me ask you, man, what do you think is the most difficult belt in jiu-jitsu in your opinion?
Honestly, I think it's the blue belt, man. I think the blue belt is really tough, and I think that when you walk from the white to blue, you have that big motivation for like, oh man, I did it, now I'm not white belt, I'm a blue belt. But when you hit in the blue belt, it's kind of the purple belt is kind of too far away, because when you get in the blue belt, you gotta, you're like a new blue belt. Like, you're not feeling like you're real, your real blue belt. You feel like, okay, I'm a blue belt, now what I do, I think that belt is really, it's a between you and then you become a black belt. That's why they say like, oh, a lot of people quit the blue belt. I can see why, because when they get the blue belt, they see like, they look forward, say like, man, it's too much work, and but then when you jump from blue to purple, things are getting more like, okay, it's more flow, and I think it's definitely, I will say blue belt,
Yeah, I definitely suffered as a blue belt. So I suffered as a blue and a purple belt, but the blue belt, I almost quit about 6 times as a blue belt. I just felt that was one of the biggest technical plateaus that I ever felt. I probably spent 80% of my time as a blue belt stuck in bottom side control. It was just, I was always getting my guard passed and pinned, and it was a miserable existence. What do you think? One of the things in jiu-jitsu that I think is interesting is that we're always looking to improve and get better. And when we get stuck in plateaus, it can really be a suffering experience, because the complexity and difficulty of jiu-jitsu, to get good at jiu-jitsu, is something that is very real. And because of that, there's this feeling that no matter how much better we get, we're still not where we want to be. And that can definitely distract us from all the tremendous progress that you might have made along the way without really noticing it. And I think it's important to sometimes take pauses and recognize the progress you've made compared to when you first started. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. So I think, like, I mentioned that a lot on my seminars. I mentioned that a lot. So, guys, even though the worst day of training, you go train, you feel like, man, that was such a miserable day, I got beat up by everybody or whatever, you still improve, and it's not as fast as a white belt who didn't know nothing. You teaching a scissor sweep, and he's like, oh, now he got one move, all he does is try that move. So you have a lack of position, you have to try to combine that together. It's not easy, and the other guy, he's counting on top of that. It's hard work, And I always mention myself. I tell everybody, guys, I've been doing that for 36 years. Got my black belt in November 1996. Training constantly, never stop. Until today, I'm still improve. And I still improve. It maybe doesn't seem much, but it's a tiny detail. I can feel the way my grip goes. Can feel like, why I lost some position, why I can make better, So it's just like, it's have an open mind. If you do have an open mind, that's it. That's why I think the blue belt's the hard one, because when you're the blue belt, you fight. You feel like, man, I'm not going anywhere anymore. I feel like I'm hitting this plateau, things doesn't move, And then when you jump in purple, it's like, you know what? I kind of enjoy that. They kind of like, things are making more sense. Brown, then you forget about. Now you go, So I think just jump on that plateau is just very important. But like, every time you train it's like saving one penny every single day. It's a 1 penny improvement every single day. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that penny, again, today you cannot do nothing, but like, you keep it saving. A year from now, you can do something, and you keep training. It's going to be that little pain you save every single day. You definitely are improve.
Yeah, that's such a great thing you just pointed out. The idea that when you're a white belt, you learn in big chunks because everything's new. So of course, when you're a white belt, you make these bigger advancements quicker as you get to the intermediate level, because everything's fresh and being absorbed for the first time. But then once you get to the blue belt, once you're an intermediate level player, it becomes much smaller details and chunks that you get better with. It's almost like sometimes microscopic little improvements that you can't even see or notice. But like you said, if it's like saving a penny a day. If you keep making them over time, they'll get bigger and bigger chunks, and you'll get through your plateau. I think that's a great thing for people to hear, because a lot of times people just go through the motions and go through the suffering, not realizing that, hey, you can't see it or feel it, but there are improvements happening on a very, very small level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I catch myself a lot in doing some position and say, dude, how come I didn't see that? This been here forever. I didn't see that. I was in Japan a few years ago. I think it was for like a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, right? And I was in the match with the Hickson Grace, and the Hickson holding me on the side control, and he told me to escape. I couldn't even move. The only thing he was moving was my eyeballs, like up and down. I couldn't even move. It was like, and he told me like, wait. Then he showed me like one thing. I was like, I felt so dumb. I said, dude, I haven't. So sometimes, man, like you will improve. You will learn. Every single day you step in the mat, you're gonna be learning something. If you want to learn, you're gonna learn something. And I tell my guys all the time, like, dude, if someone tap you 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the training, you should take this guy because he's push you for the next level. I wish I had someone train with me every day, could be make me tap 3, 4, 5 times a day. I'll be oh man, that's the guy who wanna chase him every single day on the mat, And I tell my guys, you gotta have this mentality. If you want to improve, you gotta go for their road. If you just want to play safe, just stay here. Go here because that's an easy road. When you have to cut it to go to the hard road, you maybe not prepared for that.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that because I've learned to see my training as a like a series, like a session for data collection. I'm collecting data, and I think that if you look at it that way, a lot of times you'll find that if you just keep showing up and keep going through the hard training sessions, and even if you're getting beat up the whole time, you are collecting data. And like you said, like when you linked up with Hickson in Japan, you're eventually going to find a piece of data that changes everything and starts opening things up a lot. So that is really cool that you said that because I relate to that very much. Let me ask you this. You mentioned that you wish you had someone that could tap you 3 or 4 times a day. And that brings up an interesting topic. How does someone at your level continue to improve when most of the people you're training with most of the time are much less skilled than you? How do you feel that you keep yourself really sharp despite not having people that can tap you often?
So I'm kind of the guy I like to explore, right? So if I have like a brown belt, who I do have actually, they're really good or like half guard or deep half. Beside me to like kind of get away from the position, if you're gonna train with someone, they'll level as me and they know they're good at the half guard. I don't want to go to the half guard. I'm gonna try to cut it and go for something else, right? But with my guys, I know they're really good on that position. I go to that, position they do really well. So they're forcing me to count the position they do really well. So that means like every time I count, I force them to find a way to like bring another count, the things I do, So they improve my game and helping them to improve, as well, And I'm not like, I don't like shortcut, man. I don't like shortcut. I like hard work. I like, hey, let's make this happen, And like I told you in the beginning, I'm not the kind of the guy gonna tell you to run it, and they stay there and just go. No, I'm gonna go with you. That's how I am, And so I think that's how I keep improving, And again, honestly, like improve for me. It's not only. I don't only look for like technical wise, I don't only look for that. I look for the whole picture. I look like, okay, for my health, for my body, for my energy, for everything, it's improvement. That's all linked together, So when I may have a bad day training, I kind of like, okay, so why there was a bad day? I kind of try to like ask myself what happened on that day, And that's how I do it now. And I tell my guys here, they know I talk to my son about that a lot. So if I see you training, I'm right there on the mat with you, same day you train with somebody else. I see you training. I map everything you do like that quickly. Then when I go train with you right after, I know exactly where you're going to move. I know exactly where you're going to put your hand. I have that view. I can map your game very quickly. So then I go train with you, you feel I'll be like one step ahead of you because I already know where you're gonna go. I can do that because again, 36 years doing the same thing, eventually you figure out, So and I love that, I really love, and I so because I sometimes I have guys who stop, come to my school as a guest, right, a black belt, whatever. I see they training, and tough guys, whatever. I see they training. I know then I go train to them right after. I know exactly what they're gonna do. I'll be able to shoot every move, And my son always like, how you do that? I said, well, because I already map what he do. Yeah, but how do it? Well, it's a mat time. You gotta stay on the mats long, I can imagine a couple of guys how they do. Can you imagine like Hickson, all these guys that can way the generation behind mine? They'll be like, when you blink, they already know where you're gonna go. You're like stuck, like this. Oh shoot,
Absolutely, yeah.
Crazy,
that is really cool though. Robson, there was something I meant to ask you earlier, just to go back for a moment. We were talking about like seeing training sessions as a data collection opportunity and getting through plateaus. What are your thoughts on having particular training goals for every class, like for having a well-defined goal? And do you think that sometimes the reason people get stuck in plateaus is because they're just training aimlessly and not really with any particular goal in mind? What are your thoughts on that?
Could be, and also I did that for myself when there was a purple belt. So when there was a purple belt, I was breaking down my training by week. So I had a week. Always on Monday when I go for my first train, I was putting in my mind, okay, this week's omoplata week. I was pulling omoplata for like bottom, top, side, the upside down, whatever, all the time, right? So besides doing the other things, but my focus was omoplata. That was my omoplata week. Following week, I will speak a lot of something else. Another week, I will speak something else. I did that on my purple belt for like, all the time I was in the purple belt. I was not for too many years. I was there for like 1 year. But the whole year, that's how I was trained on the purple belt. I think you set up a goal. It's very nice. It doesn't have to be a goal. Oh, I'm going to go compete. Maybe set up, no, this week, man, I really want to work like on my butterfly sweep. How am I going to do that? Just push yourself to go to that position all the time, and I think like set up that goals can definitely like help you like to like hit the plateau, just keep moving, I like the idea,
That's great. Yeah, that's something I do myself. I break things down into quarters. Like I have like every year, every new year, I sit and I draw out the four quarters of the year and the things I want to focus on, and then I try to break those down into weeks as well. And it's helped me a lot. Like having an organization, having a purpose, and like a main sort of like a North Star to follow has been really helpful as I've gotten. It's something I wish I did way before in jiu-jitsu, but I didn't start doing that till way later. Robson, you mentioned omoplatas. You said that you'd have like an omoplata week, and that's something I'd love to selfishly pick your brain on this because that's something I'm currently trying to add to my game myself. What do you think was your biggest, conceptual breakthrough that you had with omoplatas? What's something about omoplatas that was a major aha moment for you?
Well, it's always like, I can. Omoplata is being on me forever. I always like omoplata to be a small guy, have short leg. I can go kind of pretty quick, like put that way. And I think like problem with omoplata was kind of the same time I always have not easy, but I have like a easy time to locking down the omoplata. I have a hard time to finish on omoplata, because it's not as easy finish on omoplata as people think they are, and you have to feel the position. You have to create like small tools, like like me. When I go to omoplata, I don't lock the triangle omoplata. I close my guard and I extend myself to glue my heel on the floor. That way, I push your shoulder down, you can posture up. So if I go to omoplata, like look the triangle, they can posture up and try to take your hips off the floor, I close the guard if I'm at the bottom, right? I lock the omoplata, I close the guard and I stretch. So I glue his shoulder down, he can't get up, So you create like new tools like that. If you're like, oh, you know what? I do like omoplata. This is for position to do it, And I think the omoplata really like. So I can answer that question with like my top game. So the really breakdown moment for me on the top game was when I decided to compete again on the IBJJF was in 2007, and I decided to to come back for the World Championship, Pan Ams, and everything. So then I was sitting, talked to a friend of mine, and then he told me like, look, all these guys now, man, it's a double pull guard. They pull, they scramble the legs, blah, blah, blah. And I was listening to him, I said, okay. Then I told him, you know what? I'm going to be the top guy. He said, but you never play top. I said, now I will. Because everybody expects me to pull guard, and I'm going to double pull, get on top, get advanced, be on the top. So I trained out there, and I felt so amazing on the top. My top guard, like today, is like I love to be on the top, like passing, like I create like the balance, the base, the pressure, and everything. So the passing today is one of my favorite things to do, you know. So, but I was already a black belt for years when that really breaks it down.
That's incredible. That's so cool. I appreciate that insight because I love what you're saying too about the omoplata, about extending the legs rather than keeping the feet locked rather than making a triangle. I could see where that would leave a lot less space and also help you generate a lot of forward momentum to keep the guy pinned down. That's great, man. Well, Robson, I'll tell you what, we've reached about the halfway point of the show. This is where I always play a game with my guests. You've done this before. It's a game called The Pummel. The Pummel is a series of random questions. Some of these are about jiu-jitsu. Some of them have nothing to do with jiu-jitsu. But Robson, if you're down to play The Pummel again, I'd love to play with you one more time here.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. So let me see. First question. What's the worst job you've ever had in your life?
I never had a job besides jiu-jitsu. Like,
that's right.
Jiu-jitsu is my first job.
I remember now. That was your answer last time. I'm going to ask you a different one. What's your favorite kind of music to listen to?
Man, honestly, I like jazz music. You know, I'm not a music guy, a big music guy, but jazz is really like, I like a nice jazz music.
Here's a couple new questions I've added since you've been on the show. What's the largest animal you think you could beat in a fight?
For my life, every animal had to survive. Every animal.
No, what if you had to do more than survive? If you had to beat that, if you had to kill the animal, what's the biggest animal you think you could defeat?
Wow, the big animals, the one I can step in.
So like a rodent or an insect, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's honestly, you get extra points for that because it's the most honest answer. It's the honest answer. I like that. If you found a genie lamp and you could get 3 wishes, the normal genie rules apply, so no killing people and no wishing for more wishes. What 3 wishes would you choose?
Be healthy, man. Be healthy.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. You get 2 more.
See my kids to grow up, and people have a better understanding of life and what life means. You know, because I think life means way more than we think it is right now. I think life is me like way more than just like wake up, pay the bills, like, you know, go home, sleep. It's just the life is just something like so special. If we are here because we are very special, you know. So I think life, yeah.
That's great. Good answers. Good. Those are good wishes for sure. What's a secret talent that you have that people might not know about?
Man, I don't know. It's a good question because I really ask myself like these days, like, you know, I gotta learn something different, you know. But I think the secret I have, people don't know. I don't know, man. That's a good question. Like,
can you cook? Can you cook? Can you dance?
No.
Can you sing?
No cooking, no dancing. Can't cook. I can't dance. Yeah. Wash dishes. I'm amazed wash dishes, man.
That's a good one.
And I love to wash dishes. I do love to wash dishes. Makes me relax, man. Makes me relax. Can you believe on that? And I have no problem to wash dishes, man. Not at all.
It's interesting. I was reading a thing about moving meditation. Like many, like I think it was like last year, I was reading this article about moving meditation, and they listed all the daily things we do that are opportunities for a moving meditation. Washing dishes was one of them. People talk about how you take something dirty, you rinse it down. The whole process of cleaning it and renewing it and being in place and being mindful on what you're doing is actually like a good form of meditation. So that's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, that's probably because I really enjoy it. Really enjoy the relax. And my wife also, well, you do that so well. And all people are like, look, you think I do well, or you tell me to do well to make me feel like, oh, I do well, then you don't have to do it.
My wife tries to get me with that one too. I don't fall for it, but
exactly. I don't fall too. Say, look, super thing over here, right? But I do enjoy it. I really enjoy it, man. I have no problem to watch this at all.
That's awesome.
Make me feel happy.
I love that. What's something you wish you could be really good at? So when you're thinking about other things to explore and get good at, what other things do you think of?
Man, the one thing that I wish I could be good, it'll be like, I think play guitar, play guitar, just like to like really, relax and have fun, play for my kids, and I really wish like, oh, I could be good on there. Like a couple guys on jiu-jitsu really well. Jacaré does really well. Thales Leites, a bunch of guys, man, they're wow, I wish I was, I had that talent, but I don't have.
Yeah, I don't either. I try to play, but I'm not very good. But yeah, it is fun. It is fun to try though,
Yeah.
What do you think is your favorite bad food to eat? Favorite junk food?
My favorite bad food to eat? Maybe pizza, but I don't think pizza is that bad,
Nah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of pizza?
I really like Brazilian pizza, man.
Yeah.
I really like it, man. Like I tell the guys over here, I'm like, man, pizza in Brazil, it's good, but they're like, no, man, Pizza Max is the best. No, bro. I'm telling you, you should go to a good pizza in Brazil, man. But I had that pizza that was in South France, was a potato pizza.
Oh,
that was one of the best pizza I had in my life,
Really?
And, that was amazing.
So like the dough was like a potato-based dough. Is that what you're saying?
No. The dough is normal as a pizza, but the ingredients is potato. It's like kind of cheese. It was, and the guy told me, said, man, you want to eat this pizza, you gotta be. And then he told me it's potato pizza. I said, potato pizza? What are you talking? Like you tell the guys over here, you go to Brazil, you want to eat like dessert pizza, Portuguesa, or like a banana pizza with chocolate. And people are like, what are you talking about? Dude, it's good. But no, they said, no, it sounds not good. But that's exactly what happened to me,
That sounds awesome. I would love to try that. So what's it? Is it like shredded potato or like are the medallions of potato?
No, it's like pizza is like a slice of potatoes, like, on the top. And but it's they gotta put something else over there. It's like it doesn't in the taste, you don't feel like, oh, me eat a potato. No, you don't feel like that. But that was definitely the best pizza I ate in my life, until today. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've never had. I've never been to Europe, so I haven't had like pizza in Italy or anywhere else.
Oh,
but
man,
I've had. Yeah, I would love to. But obviously,
Italy is good too.
Yeah. But I've had Brazilian pizza and I've had American pizza, and those I got to tell you, like Brazilian pizza for people that haven't had it, it's unbelievable. Like we were just talking about the Portuguesa. The Portuguesa is my favorite. I love it. But just like you, when you first saw the potato pizza, I had a similar reaction. I was like, wait, this thing has hard boiled eggs and peas and corn, and I'm like, this isn't a pizza. I don't know what this is, but it's not a pizza. And then I ate it, and I was just like, oh my god, man, this is amazing.
Yeah, so, Portuguese is good, man.
Portuguese is good. It's good.
Yeah,
pizza's a good answer. I could talk about pizza all day. It's my favorite, one of my favorite foods too. What's your most hated food? What's something you cannot eat no matter what?
Cucumber, man.
Cucumber, okay, yeah.
But
what is it about cucumber that gets you? What is it? Is it the texture or the taste?
I don't know. Even though when I eat it, I buy sushi. They got a cucumber. I take the cucumber off. It's something of cucumber is just like, unless if someone tell me like, look, I know cucumber is good for you, but I say, look, you gotta eat a cucumber because then I eat it. But other than that, if I can skip that, I skip because I don't like cucumber.
Oh, maybe you were a cat. Maybe in your last life you were a cat. Do you know about cats and cucumbers?
No, my
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. So apparently, if you lay a cucumber near cats, something about the way a cucumber looks triggers something in their defense, their defense mechanisms, and they freak out. Cats freak out when they see cucumbers laying on the ground for some reason. I don't know if it looks like a snake or something, but yeah, there's some funny YouTube videos of cats reacting to cucumbers. So it's
Really? Wow.
yeah, maybe in your past life you were a cat.
Yep.
What do you think is your favorite match of your entire career?
Man, I had quite a few good ones, very good ones. But I think the one really, it's really like I really, everything was great. But I think like we fought like as a team, a Nova União team against like Allies, who is a Brazilian team. They call it Brasileiro de Equipe, where they do like 7x7. They got the number was like from like 55 kilos to like middle heavy or something like that. Brown and the black belt together. I don't know if IBJJF should do that or not, but they're called like a Brasileiro de Equipe. That was one of the best competition we had back then. It was really nice. So they don't know who you're going to be fighting. So it's like you go to this first match, right? So Nova União against Alliance, right? So it's by the number. So you pick their number 1, 2, 3, 4. They pick what. So your number one is going to be fighting the number one to the other side. But they don't know who it's going to be. They just know when they call you there. It's amazing. Really good competition. So we face Alliance in the final for the Brasileiros Equipe. And so if you score like 3 points, 3 fights, it's a 5 guys, right? 3 fights, and so they gotta if you score 3 points, 3 wins, so game is over, right? So but the other 2 guys doesn't have to fight anymore. So if they keep it draw, so then the last guy has to fight. So we face Allies, and then we will draw 2-2. And I was the last guy to fight. I fought like Musil de Angelos. And I was like live. I was walking like 135 pounds. That was my normal walking. And the Musil was like middle heavy, and he was like really like control me all the time. I couldn't do nothing. He make advantage. I couldn't like pull the fight. He was holding me very strong, very heavy. And I think it was a minute for the fight's over. I was able to lift him up on the sweep, and he based. I escaped to his back as a cat and ended up the choke, and they finished him on the back. And I was laid down. As soon as I started getting up on the feet to celebrate, the whole team walked the mat, lifting me up, so throw me to the air. Wow. I think that was really like a special match for me, really good moment,
That's incredible. Well, that's a really cool one. That's really cool. I appreciate you sharing that. Awesome. Who's your soccer team in Brazil?
Vasco da Gama.
Vasco, nice.
Always.
What's your favorite superhero?
I don't have like now seeing my kid, like my boy play. I think the Spider-Man is kind of what I enjoy more because I play to him, the stories. But like I never had one like that. My superheroes always be my daddy. That's the man like really like raised me. But like when it talk toys, I think the Spider-Man now is the one. Like I feel like it's a cool guy. Yeah. So yeah.
Good answer. That's my son's favorite too. So Spider-Man's a good one. If you could have a superpower, what would you choose?
Even a superpower. Wow. I mean, let's do something easy, simple. I'll put like every people in the entire world has to do jiu-jitsu. Boom, everybody's trying jiu-jitsu now. Worldwide, boom. It'll be a much better world to live.
It would for sure. Probably a lot less altercations out there. People would think twice before getting into fights and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think is your favorite submission?
Well, I like the arm locks a lot, but like taking the back, it's like, taking the back is my go on, It's the number one position to do, I've been phases, I was a really good loop choke, but like taking the back and stay really tight. Crucifix, I really love crucifix too. Crucifix, I know I feel very comfortable, and I can get a crucifix very quick, and
That's
I like
awesome.
crucifix too.
Great choices. Great choices. And final question for the pummel game. If jiu-jitsu and martial arts didn't exist, what do you think you'd do with your life instead?
Wow. Uh, I think you'll be a lawyer, man. I think you'll be a lawyer. Yeah,
Lawyer,
lawyer.
yeah?
Yeah.
You
Be
good
a
at
lawyer.
arguing?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
to kind of like, talk, and I think a lawyer will be a good, I kind of like, I like, yeah,
That's good. Good answer. Good answer.
yeah.
And Hobson, that was the last question. So congratulations. You win the pummel again. You got your double underhooks.
Uh,
So Hobson, man, you've talked in the past about using all four of your limbs as hands, and you've expressed the value of seeing your feet as an extra pair of hands. In what ways does that appear most in your jiu-jitsu?
That came to me when there was a purple belt. I remember I was training this guy. I had an old teammate. His name was Johnny Max. He was a high belt. I think when they was purple, but I think he was already black belt, and he was the one doing that. He was his feet, like, to control you. He was doing that. So, but he was not a battle guy. He was top guy. He was step on your legs, step on the pants, step on the arms. Always like, and I was doing so good against everybody at my team back then. But against him, man, he was trapping me like with his feet. I was like, how you do that? But he was never explaining to me, like, and I had to learn it, like, on the beat up he was giving to me, like, days, and so that I took that for him, actually. And then today's like, I feel that's one of my big tools, like, using my feet as a extra hand, and I call monkey grip, for the bottom, for the top. I mean, always like really give you a hard time to get away from my feet, and so I think that's very important. You need to add that to the jiu-jitsu. Your feet cannot just be dead. Your feet is live and doing something all the time. So that, yeah, if you never try that, you definitely have to try. Then you're gonna feel like a big change on your game.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I think a lot of people probably had the image in their head when using their feet as hands. They probably think about it while playing guard, like especially with variations like spider guard and things like that. But as you pointed out, it's great for passing too. And the ability to step on people's thigh or ankle or arm while you're passing, I think is something that doesn't come to a lot of people easily. It's not like something it's not a solution that a lot of people think of firsthand. It's something that they feel someone else do to them and be like, oh wow, I didn't even think of that. So how big of your passing game is that now? Is that a pretty big part of your passing game now?
Oh yeah, pretty big. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I do without even feel. Like sometimes just like when they see my feet already, there, and I do a lot, like, yeah, all the time, like, and on my top pass, I be always like putting myself on the angles, like my feet somehow it's gonna be hold you, hold your head, hold your pants, something like that. And my guys will say, man, I cannot get away from your legs. But no, I cannot get away from my hooks. My hooks that follow you, or no matter where you're going, like I'm just following you up, And even though like a base, like, not base, but I tell my guys, when you do butterfly sweep, like, you can visualize. So I'm this butterfly sweep. I got the hook over here. So if you lift the guy, they throw the guy, now you try to chase him at the top, you go for the scramble. So now you have to scramble, you may get in, you may get out. So now if you hook him, start elevate, and go all the way to the top and use the hook to staple his leg on the floor, now it's one leg less for you to fight on his guard. So if you switch base, you're already on the side control, So it's just like that kind of stuff, like, it's gotta be with you all the time. That's I really do a lot, and I try to pass that to the guys who train with me too.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you call it the monkey passing system. So
Yeah.
What are some of the most important concepts to keep in mind when you're using that against someone, when you're trying to pass someone's guard? What are some of your favorite key details to make that effective?
I think the angle. So if you find the right angle, because again, like the way I move is different the way you gonna move and somebody else gonna move. I think like when you see like, oh, I can just step on the leg, but it's not only step on the leg or step on the paints. You gotta have the right angle. So if you try to step on the leg, you feel like you're not on the right angle, you can maybe lose your base there. The guy pull the leg because he's not gonna keep his leg there hanging there, So you gotta find the angle. So I think understand the angle is a very important tool, and so that's why a lot of times when you try at the beginning, you feel like that position, I don't know, it's something is awkward, But more you do it, you start to figure out, I feel better here, and then say, okay, it makes more sense, So the angle will be the key to really understand that combination of pass,
You use that so effectively in competition too. So it's obviously a very effective game. For anyone out there that wants to improve that part of your game, Robson has a great instructional with us called the Monkey Passing System. It's available right now at bjjfanatics.com. It's one of our best sellers. So if you're wanting to learn how to use your feet like hands and apply that to your passing game, check this one out for sure. Robson, in closing, man, what are some of your major goals for 2024? What are some things you hope to accomplish this year?
Man, I've been training really good. I'm already started a conversation with FIPA to the BJJ Star to do a super fight there, and we been talk already. We already have like the guy in mind, and we already talk to the guy. We all the same page. He wanna do, I wanna do, FIPA wanna do. I think right now it's just to organize the schedule, work better for three of us. And to make this happen, I'm really excited about that, and to get back on the on the match, to fight and to really enjoy. Other than that, I'm always working something new. I'm taking a group of students to Brazil now to our OMNU tour. I started there last year. Last year, I took a couple guys to Pipa in Natal. And this year, I'm take a couple guys to Rio. I'm going to stay in Rio for a few days. I'm going to go to my hometown for another few days. And also I have the OMNU camp happening in Tampa on October 24th to 27th. I have been doing that for 12 years already. That's where the guys fly to Tampa for a few days. We train Friday all day long, Saturday all day long. We play bowling Friday night. We have a banquet on Saturday night, and we train half a day on Sunday. Some guys, they train half a day, go to the beach, enjoy. Some guys just spend all day on the mat. It's amazing time where we have so much nice moment in there. We meet new people, train, you talk about jiu-jitsu. It's a moment like you take with you forever. I have people coming here for 12 years, man. Every year they make that as a vacation time for the family. And I'm very excited for this year again,
That's incredible. Those are all really exciting things coming, man. Seeing you make a return in a super fight at BJJ Stars will be amazing. This camp you're doing in October sounds amazing. It's all really good things for this year for you. So, man, congratulations on all your success. And we always love hearing and catching up from you. So thanks for taking the time to be here today.
Thank you, guys. It's always amazing again. When always amazing. The BJJ Fanatics always do an amazing job. And the UI always always have a good conversation, and it makes so easy and it flow. The conversation just goes so easy and fast. Thanks so much, guys. See you guys next time.
Thank you much. It's always an honor to get to talk to you. I really do appreciate that. For anyone out there that wants to keep up with Robson, it's real easy to do so. He's active on Facebook. It's Robson Moura Association, so you guys can follow that on Facebook. Instagram, Robinho Moura. If you guys type that in, you'll find him. Make sure you follow. He's also on X under Robinho BJJ on X. YouTube is Robson Moura BJJ. He's got a great YouTube channel, so make sure you guys subscribe and hit the little bell icon to get notified when he adds new videos. And also, guys, his website is robsonmoura.com. So that's a great place to keep up with everything he's got going with his school, his affiliation, upcoming matches, clinics, and everything that he's got going on. Also, guys, if you can't make it to Florida to train with Robson, or if you can't make it to one of his camps, you can learn from him anywhere in the world here at bjjfanatics.com. We discussed his instructional monkey passing pricing system, which is available right now. He's got several others as well, so make sure you check those out. And also be sure to check his website for the October 24th camp that he's got going on. Jump in on that if you're able to, because it sounds like a really good time. And that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in. Please stay tuned for the next episode of the BJJ Fanatics podcast.